Sure, your ears may be bleeding just a little bit, but trust me, it could have been a lot worse. Welcome back guys to another edition of Looted. Today we're going to be checking out the PO-32 Tonic Pocket Operator by Teenage Engineering. For the longest time you guys have been asking us to check out the Pocket Operator series, and after years of being nagged, we finally got around to picking one up. So the Tonic is a pocket drum machine slash drum synth, and you might have already noticed, it's bloody tiny. Here's my giant head for scale. How do they make these things so small? That's one of the main things that's always impressed me about the Pocket Operator series, is that they've managed to cram so much stuff into such tiny little synthesizers. They're almost the same size as a credit card, and it's absolutely crazy. I have a feeling this is going to be a very simple unboxing. And there it is. So as well as being a neat little golden box, on the inside you've got an illustrated startup guide, as well as 3 little manuals, one in Swedish, one in Japanese, and one in English. And the manual basically just goes through what every single button on this little guide does. The circuit board design on these things just looks fantastic. They look so cool. Just look like a deconstructed synth, and I really like that. It's even got a cute little kickstand on the back. It's beautiful. Throw some AAA batteries in there. Another thing I really like about these pocket operators, look how cute these little guys are. The displays on these things are just bloody adorable. The Tonic comes with 16 preset sounds, but you can also use a VST plugin called Microtonic to create all new sounds and transfer them wirelessly using this little microphone just up here. But today we're just going to stick with the presets. I don't want to make things too complicated, or else it's all going to go wrong and I'm going to look very, very stupid. You've got your 16 buttons for each of the 16 samples, and on the left column you've got your kick drums, followed by your snares, hi-hats, and percussion. The sound button allows you to select and edit each sound. The pattern button lets you select one of 16 patterns. If you hold down the BPM button, you can adjust the BPM using the right hand knob just here, and you can adjust the swing with the left knob. You can also use the BPM button to adjust the volume by holding it down and pressing one of the 16 sample buttons, 16 being the loudest and 1 being the quietest. This right here is the accent button, and you can use it for, you guessed it, adding accents to your notes. The FX button, when held down, lets you use the 16 built-in effects. Then you can play your patterns with the play button and toggle the recording modes using the right button. You can then use a combination of all those buttons to do a number of different things, but honestly, I'm not 100% sure what those things are. But with a little bit of trial and error, I'm sure we'll find out. It's my first pocket operator, sue me. One of the things that really surprised me about the Pocket Operator series is that they've somehow managed to put an inbuilt speaker into these things, and it doesn't sound that bad. Yeah, I'm really not sure how I managed that. But to make sure we're picking up clear audio, we're going to use an external recorder. Fairly decent kicks. Also, quite nice snares. Quite nice snares. Nice snares. That's how I often say. Quite nice snares, quite nice snares, quite nice snares, quite nice snares. Well, that's actually not so bad. Solid hi-hats. And then lastly, percussions. Ooh, ow, ow. Okay. Didn't expect that. So right now we've got it set to kind of a free play mode where you can just hit the buttons and just make whatever noise you want. So I'm going to mess around with that for a bit and then try and make some patterns. I think I've played around with that enough. I think I'm ready to make a pattern. So to do that, we just need to press the right button here and we're ready to make a pattern. All right, let's go ahead, hit some buttons and see what we can make. As the first pattern I've ever made, I don't think that was that bad. Sure, your ears may be bleeding just a little bit, but trust me, it could have been a lot worse. Let's go ahead and try another one. I think that sounds pretty good, but let's go ahead and try and adjust it ever so slightly to make it sound even better. And this is the part where I completely muff it up, and it sounds dreadful. I am stupidly impressed with how much you can pull off on this little guy. For such a tiny device, you can pull off some fantastic drum patterns. You can mix things up a lot with the effects and it just all sounds fantastic. So far, I am so pleased with this little device. In fact, I'm not even done yet. I'm going to make something else. Honestly, I could be here all day just playing around with this thing because it's just such a fun device to use. At first, it does seem a little bit complicated to use when you don't know what's what, but once you've read the instructions and had a play around, you actually find it's quite an intuitive little piece of kit. And before you know it, you're going to be making some great beats, and most importantly, you're going to be having a lot of fun while doing it. Within an hour of messing around with this little guy, I think I managed to pull off some pretty good sounding patterns, at least if you ask me. To some of the more experienced musicians out there, they probably didn't sound all that great, but come on guys, it's my first time, cut me some slack. Either way, I had fun with the Tonic, and I'm personally quite glad that I picked this as my first ever pocket operator. But now I'm left here wanting to try out all the pocket operators and use them together to make some weird and wonderful sounds. So chances are you can expect to see more of these little guys in the future. And with that, I think that's going to be it for another edition of Looted. Shout out to Keegan McAdams, Natasha Savage, Pika Foop, and Luna on Patreon. Thank you very much for your support. And if you like this video, hit like. If you like all our videos, hit subscribe. We've got more videos on the way. You can also follow us on our social pages. And if you want to support the channel further, check out the link in the description to our Patreon page, and you can also join us on our Discord server. We'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.